So hey everyone, and in this video we are going to learn about useParams hook. So it's a very popular hook and a lot of beginners are actually unaware about it. So it would be very beneficial. So let me just give you a quick example. So we have visited a website known as Amazon, right? So here you can see at the top, whenever you visit Amazon, whenever you visit any product, you might see the URL. Okay, according to the URL, you can see the product. So that means URL is somehow linked to the product, right? So if I show you the real life usage, let's go to Amazon and I would just come here and I would just search for anything. For example, I would just click on this iPhone cover. Okay, so you can see that, by the way, I was just looking for some cover. So you can see that according to that you have some links. Okay, so this is auto generated, handled by Amazon. You don't need to understand that, but you can see that we have something that means we have some form of ID or some form of things like that. For example, if I just show you my GitHub profile, okay, my GitHub profile. So if I just go to github.com/viraj014, so this is what, this is actually a URL parameter. This is actually a URL parameter. If I type some other user's name here, so I would get their profile. Okay, so if I type this name Viraj J014, then I would get my profile data. So this is what, this is a URL parameter. According to that, I would get the data here. That means somehow you have to extract this. How can we do this? So for that, we actually have params. Okay, params in React.js. Very easy to use. So for example, we have the about page. So let's say in the about page, I want to just say, I want to just send the name or whatever I want. I can just send some variable name, okay, whatever name I want. So some name, I would just say, suppose some name is here, okay, some name. So I would just copy this. Okay, now what I want is since I'm sending it to about, so I can access it from about. I would just say, by the way, if you haven't watched my previous videos, you can watch. So I've explained routing and use location very easily. You can watch that. So here what I have to do is, I would just say const params equals, and here I just need to write use params. Okay, so now let me just try to print this const, actually I would just write params. Okay, that would be better. And now let's try to check if it's working or not. So actually I think I need to restart or something, because it's trying to, okay, it's trying to open. Now if I just go to some different page, for example, if I just go to this, go to about, can see that first of all the problem is I'm not able to get this. Why am I not able to get this? Because in index.js I have done something wrong here. You can see you have to provide that also. Okay, that means something here also. If you don't provide anything, that would be an avoided URL. So to just be safe, that means for empty URL, you would just pass it something like this. That means if you don't provide anything, then also show about. If you provide something, then also show about. Okay, it's like this. Okay, so right now, if you don't provide anything, you can see still you are getting about. Suppose here, if I just say, I'm just providing something like HJ. Okay, if I write HJ, so you can see in parameter some name, it's getting HJ. That means I'm printing this from about.js, right? So I'm just going to say now in about.js, you can see you send the parameter through URL. It's very great. You can easily do this. You send the parameter through URL. So I would just say dot, for example, it has some name, right? Some name. So I'm actually trying to print this. So you can see I'm getting HJ. Okay, so I can actually show this here. I can easily say that, suppose I want to show params dot some name, or you want to do something like, for example, you send some ID in the URL. According to that, you would be getting this into the page, and then you would be getting that ID, sending that ID into the backend, and you would get the user data or product details like that. So whatever you want, you can do. But right now you can see I easily got that. Okay, instead of this, you could have some sequence also. For example, you have some ID for 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Suppose you have this ID, very big ID. This is some product ID, right? So what you would do, you would get that product ID. You got that product ID, you would be sending that to your backend in Node.js wherever you have created. You would get the data from Node.js, and whatever data it is, you would show the product accordingly. So this is very beneficial when you have a URL in that you have sent an ID and you want to access it to some separate page. So from normal, from anywhere, I just call this URL, whenever I call this ID, I would get the exact product. I would get that exact product. Okay, that's why it's important. So you just send the ID into the URL, and then you would get that ID into this page, and then you can send it to your backend or do whatever you want. Okay, so I hope now you understood used params is used for just getting the URL details, like whatever parts you have this in your URL. Suppose, so instead of this, suppose you have one more thing, you have this, you can send one more parameter, like for example you send some, for example some ID. Okay, some ID. So you can see that I have sent two data here. So I would just say, for example, some name would be better, so some name would be Harshal, and some ID would be 1234. That would be better. So you can see that yes, this is my exact location, this is my some name. So if I just go to about or just try to print params, that would be better. So you can see in params, you can see you got some ID and some name. So very easily you got this, and then you can extract data from the object and then do whatever you want, right? This would actually return you an object, right? Then do whatever you want with this, right? So guys, I hope you understood this video. That's it for today. I will see you in the next one with some new concept. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.